Penguin Random House Canada presents Jones by Neil Smith. Read for you by Ishan, Davé. Prologue. Verdun. The show's about to start. It's a few minutes after lights out, and Eli and Abi Jones slip from their beds. They slide back their bedroom curtains, which are made of red polyester, though Abi swears it's red velvet, like in a theater. Curtains open, their window turns into a movie screen, beaming scenes from the alley outside, what they like to call the Late Show. The brother and sister, ages 7 and 9, live with their parents in a cramped flat above a corner store named Peretz. They share a room, Eli's bed on one side, Abby's on the other. They often hear milk bottles clinking together as the clerk at Peretz fills the fridges beneath their floorboards. Near the end of his shift, the clerk always flips on the rear outdoor light, then lays 3 or 4 bowls of cat food beside the falling down, gap-toothed wooden fence running along the alleyway. The food lures cats from all around. Sometimes they fight over the kibble, sometimes eat calmly side by side. Raccoons also show up. The rare skunk, local dogs out for walks with their owners, dip their muzzles into the bowls. Tonight, a muggy evening in July, a tabby cat shows up at the start of the Late Show. As it feeds in the shadows of the alley, Abby, her face shiny from the heat, says to her brother,
"I've got a superpower, you know."
The way she speaks is garbled, more through her nose than through her mouth. Martian is what Eli calls this strange nasal language of hers, and only he can translate it effortlessly into English. "What kind of power?" he asks.
"My soul can leave my body and go inside animals,"
Abby says.
"When they roam around the neighborhood, I go with them. I live inside their bodies."
"When you're inside them, what happens to your own body?"
"I'm here, but not here. It's like I'm under a magic spell."
Eli wants to know more, but they aren't supposed to talk during the Late Show, in case their mother overhears and storms into their room, hands ready to slap. In the alley, a hunchback, red-eyed raccoon waddles over while the tabby is eating. The 2 striped creatures begin a squabble, which draws hisses from the cat, snarls and shrieks from the raccoon. In its rage, the raccoon overturns the bowls of food, bares its fangs. The cat runs off.
"I'm inside that raccoon now."
"How does it feel?"
"Real good."
Abby goes all dreamy, a medium in a trance. The raccoon scoffs up the spilled kibble. Belly full, it hobbles away down the alley. Abby's soul drifts back inside her body. She pulls the red curtains shut, and it's like the end of a movie. The siblings climb back into their beds. In the dark, Eli whispers, "Can you go inside any kind of animal?" He hugs his teddy, which smells rank since he drools on it in his sleep.
"Yep, any sort. Dogs, horses, squirrels. I've even been inside a pigeon."
"What about humans? Can your soul get inside them too?"
"No humans. Well, except for one."
"Who?" he asks, though he's already guessed the answer. Middlesex County. The siblings are at a Cumberland Farms convenience store, which they call Peretz, in memory of the store they used to live above in Verdun. They're 11 and 13. Eli has studied the number of calories in every chocolate bar sold here. "Test me," he says. Abby picks a bar from the candy display at the front of the checkout counter. Each kind is stored in its own little cardboard box. "Reese's Peanut Butter Cups," she says. Eli is seated on a chipped wooden stool behind the counter. "Hard one," he says. 210 calories each." She glances at the wrapper, nods, then sets the bar back on the display, holds up a Milky Way. 240? Another nod. The test continues, with Kit Kat, Mars Bar, Butterfinger, Eli answering correctly each time. "You're an idiot savant, Jones," Abi says. "Huh?" "It means you're smart and stupid." At 13, she has an 8-year-old's breathy, giggly voice, but thanks to speech therapy, she no longer speaks Martian. It's an afternoon in early July, and there are no customers. The air conditioner is turned up so high, Eli wears a sweatshirt, despite the heat wave washing over Massachusetts. The store manager lets the boy work alongside his mother, Joy, who pays her son an allowance out of her wages. He sweeps, mops, wipes smudges off the glass doors of the fridges, turns packages outward on the shelves, affixes prices using a sticker gun. But often he just sits on a stool and keeps Joy company. Customers may ruffle his cowlicks as they pay for their potato chips or soda pop. A week ago, a lady in a tube top gave him 50 cents, saying, "Aren't you the cutest thing?" Hoping to earn more tips, he smiled sweetly at other ladies till Joy put a stop to his flirting. "You look like a perv," she said. Unlike her brother, Abi doesn't help at Peretz, but today she's dropped by on her way to the library. Bell-bottoms dragging on the floor, a hemp purse strung across her chest, a bracelet of gum wrappers circling her wrist. She wanders the aisles, checking the calorie count of marshmallows, chocolate syrup, tomato soup. "Geez, granola sure isn't health food," she says, a box of cereal in hand. 440 calories in a bowl. A slack-jawed look of surprise on her face. Might as well eat a double cheeseburger. There's a reason behind the obsessive counting of calories. They're a big part of the Great Escape, Abi and Eli's plan to run away to Manhattan. There, Abi hopes to become a model, ergo the need to stay stick-thin. Eli thinks she's pretty enough, with the long, straight, wheat-blonde hair of a Charles Manson disciple. Eli is also blonde, but more the color of a manila envelope. Their mother is the blondest of them all, thanks to Miss Clarell, but Abi claims the color is brassy, and, behind Joy's back, she calls her the Brassy Broad. The Brassy Broad is in the bleach-smelling restroom at the back. "Hold down the fort," she told the pair before scurrying off. She drinks too much coffee on the job and always has to pee. She also takes the opportunity to grab a smoke out back. Joy returns, her helmet of curls freshly spritzed with hairspray and her frosty pink lipstick reapplied and bleeding into the tiny lines around her mouth. 5'6" and skinny, she lives on coffee and cigarettes. Joy smokes menthol cools, Abi smokes Camels, and Pal, the sibling's father, smokes Craven A's. Eli plans to take up the filthy habit one day. He sketches cigarette logos in a black spiral notebook and obsesses over which brand to smoke. As Joy slips behind the cash register, a guy in a rhinestone-studded cowboy hat comes in to buy milk. Eli likes overseeing the milk supply. When milk runs low, he heads to the cold room behind the fridges, slips on a heavy smock, then fills the wire shelves with plastic jugs, gallon and half-gallon. He tracks milk sales in his notebook, so he'll know when to refill the supply. After the cowboy leaves, he makes a tick in the whole gallon column of his table. "Jesus, Murph, what's the point of that list?" Joy says. "We can see straight into the bloody fridges from here." Abi comes to the checkout counter. "Can Eli take a break?" she asks. "A gerbil at Animal Crackers had a litter of 6 babies." Eli's face lights up. Joy rolls her eyes. "Gerbils are rats with better PR," she says. "They're not rats, they're little kangaroos." He's been trying to persuade Joy to let him buy a pair of gerbils, a male and a female. "Gerbils have no odor, so they aren't smelly. Both the males and females care for their young, and they mate for life." He isn't sure about the last fact, but thinks it'll impress Joy. It doesn't. "Mate for life, my arse," she says. No one says arse in Massachusetts, but despite having lived in Middlesex County for several years now, Joy and Pal still use words like parlor for living room, Chesterfield for couch, and flat for apartment. The last letter of the alphabet is Z, not Z. "Take my word," Joy says to Abi.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?